Lydia was 20, full of curiosity and a little bit of rebellion. She had always been a good student, but lately she had started hanging out with a new group of friends, girls who seemed confident, stylish, and daring. One afternoon after school, one of them pulled out a cigarette. "Come on, Lydia, try it," her friend teased, lighting the stick. Lydia hesitated. She knew smoking was bad. Her mother had warned her plenty of times, but she didn't want to seem weak. She took the cigarette, inhaled, and immediately coughed as the smoke burned her lungs. The girls laughed, patting her back. "Don't worry, you'll get used to it," they said. Lydia forced a smile, but deep down, she felt uneasy. Over the next few days, she started sneaking cigarettes, thinking no one would ever find out. But a mother always knows. One evening, as Lydia walked into the house, she saw her mother, Mrs. Andre, standing by the kitchen table. Her arms were crossed, and on the table lay the undeniable proof: Lydia's pack of cigarettes. "Sit down," her mother said, her voice calm but firm. Lydia's heart pounded. She tried to think of a lie, but her mother's piercing eyes told her it was useless. "You think I wouldn't notice the smell on your clothes? Your breath?" Mrs. Andre asked. Lydia looked down, ashamed. "I was just trying it. Just once," she mumbled. Her mother sighed and picked up the paddle hanging by the doorway, the same one used for discipline when she was a little girl. "You're my daughter, and I love you too much to let you make this mistake," her mother said. "Smoking ruins lives, and since you think you're old enough to make grown-up decisions, you'll face grown-up consequences." Lydia gulped. She knew what was coming. Her mother pulled a chair to the center of the room. "Over my lap," she commanded. Lydia hesitated, but there was no escape. Slowly, she obeyed. Smack! The first swat of the paddle made her gasp. Her mother wasn't playing. Tears welled up in Lydia's eyes. It wasn't just the sting, it was the shame of disappointing her mother. "You will never smoke again," her mother said firmly, delivering another sharp swat. "You will not throw away your health for some silly trend." Smack! By the time it was over, Lydia's face was wet with tears and her backside burned. She stood up, rubbing the soreness, but her mother wasn't done. "Now," Mrs. Andre said, handing her a notebook, "I want you to write a 2-page essay on why smoking is dangerous, and you will read it out loud to me when you're done." Lydia sniffled, but nodded. She sat at the table, her hands shaking, and began writing. As she listed the dangers, lung cancer, addiction, ruined skin, and a damaged future, she realized how foolish she had been. That night, Lydia finished her essay and read it aloud, her voice trembling. When she was done, her mother hugged her tightly. "I love you, Lydia. That's why I had to teach you this lesson," she whispered. Lydia buried her face in her mother's shoulder. "I'm sorry, Mama. I won't do it again." And she never did. The temptation came and went, but she always remembered that burning lesson, both in her heart and on her backside.